from each of these little dots down here. Draw the orthogonals, that's your railroad tracks.
Today, a new generation of students learns to create the illusion of depth on a flat surface.
Wall, to your left,
Sam Edgerton teaches the rules of perspective by showing how to draw an imaginary room.
This is a right wall, this is a ceiling, and this is a floor. Can you imagine this now? In other words, this is no longer parallel to you, it is perpendicular to you. Shoot the chute, a long tunnel. But nobody is ever born to draw a picture in perspective, which is why it took so long to finally figure it out. One of the things the students have a hard time is seeing the flat piece of paper and imagining it as being an illusion of space, and that they're penetrating the surface and actually moving their eye into deep space as they draw that diagonal pencil line. This is called the vanishing point in perspective lingo, for the moment VP.
The concept of perspective is focused on an imaginary spot called the vanishing point that's directly opposite the viewer's eye. Through this point, all lines running parallel to the viewer's line of sight must converge. When the rules of perspective are followed, any person can visualize any subject in 3 dimensions.
You're following the strict laws of geometry, and you're creating a visual image of something you're not even seeing it except in your mind's eye, but it's very rational and comports very much to what you would really see in nature when you look into the real world. Very good. Thank you. Yeah. Okay, I think your win is fine, except that well, let's get a whole guy.
The rules are simple enough to learn in 1 hour, but Edgerton believes that the discovery of perspective in Florence, Italy, changed the course of Western civilization.
Florence was a medieval city surrounded by a tight wall, and the artist sees these buildings towering up over the walls, and in his mind's eye, he puts these all together in a kind of pastiche of marvelous images with no particular geometric organization whatsoever, just a series of visual sensations which excite him. About 150 years later, we have quite another view of the same city of Florence based on the geometric rules of linear perspective. Notice now that here the artist has really removed himself way up in the sky. In his mind's eye, he fits it into a nice circle. And from this very abstract, very high position, you could actually make a very good map.
With perspective, artists portrayed not only the spaces they lived in, but imaginary spaces as well. On vaulted ceilings, religious mysteries unfold into infinite space.
The advent of linear perspective really mathematized the way we see. The understanding of perspective allows the human being to make a picture of a controlled and confined space. It doesn't have to replicate a real space at all. Perhaps that's the real power of perspective. You're not just simply copying nature, you're creating it.
Mathematicians begin using perspective to draw shapes and ideas that they previously described with words and numbers.
Mathematicians were fascinated by it. Perspective pictures increases the ability to show very complicated polyhedrons, for example, mathematical ideas, which heretofore had to be explained in Latin and in very abstruse language, which only a few could understand.
With 3-dimensional drawings, people could communicate ideas in a new way. Edgerton believes the use of perspective spurred the growth of technology and industry.
Technology was in the guild system where the master would know the technology and then would lay his hands on his best apprentice and bring him into the almost religious mysteries of his profession. And it was all passed down through word of mouth. But now what you could do is make exact pictures of a particular device. And it means anybody, look at a picture, can learn the technique. We've made technology available to a broader population than ever before. And this is why the West got a jump on the rest of the world in terms of an industrial revolution. Far more important in the history of Western civilization than the printed word was the printed picture, printed perspective picture.
For more than 5 centuries, perspective pictures on canvas and film have become the milestones of culture and the bookmarks of history.